What's up, everybody? My name is Lindo and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now this channel is called Solo Breed and that's the name I chose for it. I'll explain what it means a little bit later, but for today I really just want to kind of like share my story as to who I am and why am I on this platform and what can you expect on this platform from today on if you do choose to subscribe. So I'm going to share a little bit about my story so you can have context of why I do what I do. So I'm South African, born in Eastern Cape, but migrated to Johannesburg is where I was raised with my 5 siblings, including me. So it's 4 siblings, and both parents, they've looked after me all my life. They took me through school only up until I finished high school. And then from there, I had to take responsibility for my life, literally everything. So I had to start from zero as to clothes to wear, food to eat, place to stay, everything, right? So my dad, old school, very militant, as soon as I finished high school, is you gotta see your way out and figure it out for yourself, So in those early years, I couldn't understand it. I was very, angry, but the older I got, I understood why. After I matriculated, my older brother, he was already kicked out at that point. As soon as he finished high school, he got kicked out, so he had his own setup at the time. So I just moved in with him. So he basically looked after me while I tried to figure myself out. So fortunately at the time, he was studying sound technician. So he was basically interning at our church. He was a sound technician there. So then he knew the person who was in charge of the camera crew. So he set up an appointment for me, and then he asked me if I would be interested, because at that point I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew that I was born for greatness. I was born to do something great with my life. I just didn't know what or how. So I was willing to take on any opportunity just as long as it keeps me busy and I can learn something from there, and then hopefully along the journey I'll kind of figure it out as to what it is that I want to do and take it from there. So my brother set up the appointment, so I took the opportunity. So I went to go meet with this person. His name is Dave. Shout out Dave. So I met with Dave. So I was honest with Dave. I was like, yo man, listen, I know nothing about camera work. I've never operated a camera in my life, but I will tell you one thing. I will learn, and I'm gonna school any person who was new onto the team. I will teach them myself. That's how much I guarantee to grow. So I made that deal with Dave. Literally the same weekend, on that Sunday was my first day, right? So I showed up, I was open to learning, right? So they taught me everything that I needed to learn. So I started with somebody who was basically watching me while I operate, and you give me tips along the way. So long story short, within 3 years, I grew so much that indeed I started training other new people who recently joined the team. So I was able to train them because, I learned every single camera type, and I operated at every level, from operating a dolly to operating a jib, even all the way to vision mixing. So I learned all of that, and I started, training other people. And in doing that, I started to notice certain leadership qualities within me, and number 2, the ability to teach. So in me doing that, I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed, leading and teaching more than I enjoyed operating. So I did that, and those people started training other people. And that served as good evidence that I was a great teacher, because the people that I taught were able to pass on the same teachings to others. By the way, as a camera operator, I was basically part-time. I would do other external jobs every now and then, when we have a gig, maybe say for Neolife, would go there, film, but I had nothing to do with editing. I was just a camera operator. So at the height of the success of camera operating, an opportunity came where at our church they were looking for a junior video editor. But at the time, I knew nothing about video editing, right? I Like I literally did not know anything. So they set me up for an interview. I showed up there, even the interview, bro, like it was so funny. It wasn't like, yo, we're calling you in for an interview. Like they bumped into me like, yo, are you Slindo? Yes. Okay, come into my office right now. What? I go to the office. It's an interview. Okay, cool. So they interviewed me as to like, do I know, what do I know? So I shared them my experience. I know how to operate cameras at every level, But they're like, okay, but we're looking for a junior video editor. Do you know how to edit videos? And I was like, yes, I do. Having no clue, but I said, yes, I do. And you know why? Because I knew that the same way I made a commitment before I knew how to operate a camera, that I was gonna be the best at doing that. I'm gonna start teaching others how to do it. I applied the same mentality. I was like, yes, challenge, game on. So I was like, yes, I know how to edit, but junior level. You know what I'm saying? I had to set the expectations. So they're like, all right, cool, you got the job. I was like, all right, bet, And then my first day was gonna be in a week's time. So I had literally 6 days for me to learn how to edit videos. So, as for me, I always find a way, to chip out the system. So I went to YouTube University. That's where I learned how to edit. So I had to search videos on how the basics of editing works. So I searched for videos, and every day, bro, I learned how to edit every day. I had a little laptop, dude. It was like literally 2 or 4 gigs of RAM, bro. Like that thing was so slow, but I had to load a cracked version of Premiere Pro on there, and then I had to practice how to edit. Because I knew that, dude, I only have 6 days to learn how to do this, and I'm gonna use every opportunity I have. So every single day, bro, worked on learning how to edit videos. Till my first day. When the first day came, I was like, I bet, at least I know how to, chop and trim a video. You know what I'm saying? So then my first project was handed over to me, and indeed all I needed was just the basics of editing. So I put the video together, and then one project after another, and I literally spent 3 months of literally whenever there was a slightly bigger project, I'd have to search on YouTube on how to make certain edits to fit the criteria for the project I was given. So I would have a tutorial open here and have my project open here, and I'll go step by step until I finish the project. Now this was still junior level. So at our department at the time, there was 3 video editors. So you had the junior video editor, and then you had the intermediate video editor, and you got the senior video editor. Now the intermediate video editor at the time, he resigned. So somebody had to, step into his position until we find somebody to replace him. So now, because the senior video editor had a lot on his plate, I had to jump in and do the work. Now, apply the same principle. YouTube video here and my project. I just literally worked like that until they found somebody, but they didn't find somebody to replace the intermediate video editor, but they found somebody to replace me on the junior video editor position. So that's how I knew, that means I'm promoted, right? But I didn't go in there asking for salary increases or whatever. I just carried on doing my work, right? And I did it, and then I think about a month or 2, that's when, my salary changed a little bit. So I was like, praise the Lord, right? So even there, I challenged myself to get better, right? So I still continuously watch the YouTube tutorials, continuously to keep myself sharp and capable and competent to be able to do the projects that were handed down to me. So then I did that work, and then we had to start up a live stream at our church. At the time, we weren't live streaming, so we had to start it up. So at the time, nobody knew how to live stream and what equipment we needed. So I was put in that position to say, yo, this live streaming thing, figure it out. So I was like, bet, I'm good for any challenge. I knew nothing about live streaming, but I committed myself to say, you know what, I'm gonna learn everything there is to learn about live streaming. I'm gonna get good at it, and then I'm gonna train other people on how to do it. So I started researching about it, working on it, through trial and error. It was a difficult process. And then fast forward 2 years later, that's when we started having like some stable streams. And by the time, that 2 years had elapsed, that's when lockdown kicked in. And within that 2 years of figuring out live stream, I figured out just enough for when lockdown came. Like now, the ministry depended on live stream in order for us to run our services on Sunday. So the weight of the ministry was literally on my shoulders. But I knew just enough to keep the services running online. So we did that. That was successful until in-person services came back again. And at the time, I was still intermediate video editor, and then the senior video editor at the time resigned. So then the same thing that happened with the intermediate video editor, I started taking on some of the work, well, pretty much all the work from the senior video editor's position. So I started doing all of that work, and there was an interview beforehand because it was a senior video editor position. So it needed a certain level of skill. So walked into that interview, literally the same method. Yo, do you know how to animate? Do you know how to use After Effects? And I had very little knowledge about it. I just kind of like dabbled in it a little bit, but I didn't dabble in it too much. But even there I said, yep, I know how to use After Effects. And literally the same method, bro. Watched tutorial after tutorial after tutorial on how to operate After Effects, to the point where now, dude, I'm very comfortable with After Effects. And the thing is about me, I never want to be comfortable for too long, right? Once I get to a stage of comfortability, then I start to seek out other ways to challenge myself and see how can I get better at a certain skill. Even if being in the senior video editor's position, I had to continuously keep challenging myself and keep, getting better and better at making, really cool videos. So now, I'm doing live stream and senior video editor work. I'm literally, in the space of video editors, I'm the team leader now. It goes back to every single commitment that I made whenever taking on a new challenge, that I'm gonna learn everything that needs to be learned and get so good at it that I can teach others to do it. Now, I've grown my live stream team. I've got people who are serving on my team, and I've taught them to the point where they are now currently training others, right? So I've seen, tremendous growth in my life in the space of 5 years. Now, yes, I put in the effort, but it was all by the grace of God. God was with me in the process. I trusted him, to help me, get better at what I do, you know what I'm saying, and accomplish my goals, you know what I'm saying. So I'm in this position by the grace of God. And there's certain principles that I've learned, along this journey that I really love to share on this channel that will guarantee your success if you apply them. And the thing is with these principles is that I had to also, be open to constructive criticism. To avoid getting puffed up, I would listen to like mentors, people who have gone ahead of me, who are even more successful in their respective areas of influence, and I glean from them. I lean my ear towards them because they are capable of giving me advice that will help me get better at what it is that I do. And as much as yes, I'm in the media space and I'm doing video editing and live stream. However, those aren't my gifts. My gifts are to teach, to inspire, and to strengthen the brethren. The brethren is you, whoever it is that's watching. My purpose is to be of service to you, to teach you, right? To teach you everything that I know, and to encourage you and to strengthen you for the journey ahead of you. I implement those three elements into everything that I do. in every video that I make, I always make sure that there is an element of inspiration. I want to invoke a certain feeling of motivation for you to be unctioned or propelled to do something or take your next steps in whatever area of your life that this video speaks to. So with every video that I make, that's my ultimate goal, besides the cool effects and stuff like that. But I want to target your emotions. I want to make you feel something that will compel you to take your next steps or to do the very thing that you are set out to do. So I'm pumped and I'm excited. I've got tons and tons of material that I've put together over this year that I've been sitting with. And, I honestly, now to keep it real with you, I was very held back. I was scared of, putting myself out there as for being in front of the camera, because I'm so used to being behind the camera that being in front of it is a whole different ball game on its own. But I have to have the courage to do what it is that God has called me to do. And I had to step it up, bro. I had to step it up and say, you know what? I learned how to operate a camera. I learned how to edit videos. I learned how to do live stream. Man, I'm sure I can learn how to speak in front of a camera. And this is what I'm doing today. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so happy that I took this leap of faith. And I hope this inspires you and encourages you to do the very thing that has been pressing into your heart. Because I guarantee you right now, man, I haven't been able to sleep peacefully because God has been pressing in my heart to start this YouTube channel. But because of my fear of being in front of the camera, I don't know what I look like. I don't know what I sound like. I probably look crazy, but I don't care. As long as, tonight I'm gonna sleep so well, because I know that I conquered the one fear that has been holding me back for 3 years, bro. I was supposed to start this channel 3 years ago, but here I am. Finally, I found the courage to do it. So I hope this inspires you. I hope this encourages you. And I hope that this is a good reason for you to like and subscribe and stay tuned on this channel. Now on this channel, you can expect on a weekly basis to receive content that will help you grow and transform into all that God has called you to be, through principles that will help you progressively grow into the best version of yourself. So I'm so excited to take you along in this journey with me. I'm also prepared to learn, to learn as much as I can in order for me to share as much as I can, right? All I am, I'm just a channel. You know what I'm saying? I receive, all my wisdom from above, from my Father in heaven, and transfer that wisdom after I have applied it, transfer it to you and break it down and simplify it in such a way that it is simple, right, for you to apply in your day-to-day life. So that's the brand of Solo Breed. Solo Breed is a personal development brand, right, that encapsulates you being a unique being with a set of talents and gifts that God has placed inside of you. And my job is to water those seeds, put some water on them, for them to grow, through the principles that I'll be sharing on this channel, in order for you to grow and blossom and give glory to God for all that He has created you to be. So until next week, so I'll upload every Fridays. You can expect content on this channel every Friday, and I'm looking forward to this journey with you. So do the right thing, like, subscribe, do the whole nine, man. You know what to do. So I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, and thank you for even watching this video. Really, really appreciate it with all my heart. That's it from me. Love y'all. See y'all next week.